The man who had just woken up didn't notice that the television was reporting shocking news. An unknown virus similar to rabies was currently sweeping across the globe. Those infected lost all reason and became extremely aggressive. The broadcast urged residents to take preventive measures. Having missed the news, he went out as usual and noticed an unusual number of ambulances on the road. At the supermarket, he saw everyone frantically stockpiling supplies. Though Mike found it strange, he didn't think much of it, buying only a few days' worth of food before returning home. It wasn't until that evening, when his sister sent a video, that he understood what was happening. Working in a government department, she knew more inside information and said the virus was even worse than reported. Officials had already built a safe zone on an island, and she urged her brother to come meet her so they could seek refuge together. Hearing how serious the situation was, Mike immediately booked a flight to leave, but while waiting in line to board, the ticketing system suddenly failed. Then all flights were cancelled. Shortly after, everyone's phones received an emergency communication because the virus was spreading too quickly. The country had imposed martial law and banned all travel. Some people immediately realized something was wrong and began causing a commotion. Mike quickly called his sister to ask about the situation. She told him to go home and wait. She would send someone to pick him up soon, but upon returning, he discovered the streets were completely gridlocked. Upon receiving the news, the public was now panicking and trying to escape. Seeing the large crowds forced to gather there, Mike abandoned his car, grabbed his luggage and walked home on foot. But when he finally returned home exhausted, he found his neighbor's house surrounded by soldiers. He watched as they tied up his neighbor, whose constant snarling and writhing was chilling to witness. Mike's desire to leave quickly grew stronger. But the next day his sister brought bad news. Not only had officials placed their area under martial law, they planned to establish a quarantine zone to control the virus. Soon, the military would forcibly evacuate everyone. But even the evacuation locations would certainly be more dangerous than the safe zone. She needed her brother to avoid the soldiers' searches and wait until the area was completely abandoned before she could come for him. Realizing it might be a long time before rescue arrived, Mike immediately went to the supermarket to stockpile supplies, only to find the shelves had already been stripped bare. With no options, he could only pick up scattered food from the floor. Just as he managed to fill his backpack and prepare to leave, he suddenly saw a police officer running in with a blood-covered arm. The frightened officer locked the supermarket doors. Before Mike could react, he saw crowds of people screaming and fleeing in the distance, followed by another police officer who had become infected.